Hello, my name is Andres Gomez. I'm here to talk to you today about how to build your own drone from the comfort of your home. Have you ever wondered what it's like to fly or pilot your own drone? Well, now you won't have to anymore. I'll be going over the main components that you'll need in order for you to start, building your own drone. Now, a lot of people call these drones, but their actual names are quadcopters. Quadcopters because they have four wings and a motor on each wing. Now, the main components are the first thing you'll want is a frame, motors. Depending on the size of the frame, you want to get the appropriate size motors. You also want electronic speed controllers or ESCs. You also want a power distribution board, flight controller, a battery, and finally a remote control with a receiver. Now let's begin. Once you have chosen your frame, depending on the size of frame, you'll pick the appropriate sizes. For example, this is a 270 millimeter frame that I'm using, to build a drone. As you can see, I already have my four motors installed. It's a quadcopter because it has four wings. Now, once you have selected the appropriate size motors, you want to select the electronic speed controller. Once you select the motors, each motor has a electrical pull, an amp, that it will need in order to operate. Once you know that amp, then you'll select the appropriate size. For example, the motors that I have here installed, they need about 20 to 25 amps of power. So that means I'm going to have to select an electronic speed controller of 30 amps because I want to make sure I have enough power so my motor and my speed controller do not burn out. This brings us to the next part, the power distribution board. The power distribution board is your main electrical unit. This is what distributes the power from your battery to all your components. This powers up your motors, your lights, and any cameras that you may have installed. Once you get the power distribution board, then you'll get the appropriate battery that goes with it. Depending on the size of battery that you'll get a different flight time. The larger the battery, the more flight time you're going to get. Right? So once you have these components, remember, the motor connects to the ESC, the ESC connects to the power distribution board, and the power distribution board gets the power from the battery. The next thing you need is the flight controller. The flight controller is basically the brain of the drone, or the motherboard. This is what gives the flight characteristics of the drone. It's what makes it fly. It will tell the electronic speed controller how much thrust each motor should generate in order for the uh, plane, for the drone to fly. Once you select the flight controller, you also need to pick a radio controller. Radio controllers usually come with a receiver. The receiver gets attached to your flight controller and it syncs up to your radio controller, which will allow you to control your drone. Once you have all these parts, you're ready to build your drone. Now, one of the things I always recommend, since we're dealing with electrical components, is to wrap everything around electrical tape. This will give it an additional protection and it will keep your components from frying out. One day I was at the park flying my drone and this unexpected gust of wind just came out of nowhere. It actually blew my drone straight into a tree. Now, one of the propellers of my drone actually slashed through one of my electronic speed controllers. I didn't have any sort of protection on it, no electrical tape, nothing, and that's the reason why it just sliced through. Now, if I would have had some type of electrical tape, some type of protection on it, it could have prevented all the damage that it did, and it could have saved me a lot of money. So, I always recommend put some protection on it. Now that you have all of these components, you're ready to start building it. So go ahead and do it. I recommend this. It's a really fun experience and you'll enjoy your time flying. And don't forget, wrap electrical tape around all of these components and make sure you have all the components that you need. You need the frame, motors, the electronic speed controllers, the power distribution board, the flight controller, a battery, and a remote control. This is everything you need to get started in building